All right, let's jump right in. Picture this. You've got two people in the same store, right? Staring at the exact same shelf. One's doing pretty well financially, the other, not so much. But here's the crazy part. When they go to buy something, they almost always pick total opposites. The person with less money, they might go for the bigger, louder, more flashy thing. And the wealthy person, you'll often see them pick something smaller, quieter, more simple. Now, you might just think, oh, that's just personal taste. But what if I told you it's actually something much deeper? A powerful, kind of hidden psychology that says way more about their finances than it does about their fashion sense. And this strange, totally counterintuitive idea is the key to unlocking all of it. It's really a truth about the invisible emotional wiring that shapes how we spend, how we feel, and at the end of the day, how we live our lives. So let's pull back the curtain on that statement, shall we? What does that actually mean when we're out in the real world? Okay, so first up, let's tackle this idea of buying big to feel small. Now, this is a mindset that's usually born from a place of financial insecurity. It's where your brain kind of gets trained to look for one thing and one thing only, and that's impact. I mean, think about it. You know the kinds of purchases I'm talking about, that giant TV, the super flashy watch, the huge plate of food at a restaurant. They're all designed to make you feel powerful, to be noticeable, and to give you that instant rush. And it's not always about showing off to other people either. A lot of the time, it's about creating a temporary escape, just a quick moment where the world doesn't feel so overwhelming, and for once, you feel like you're actually in control. And listen, this is a really important point. This kind of behavior, it isn't a sign of being dumb with money or having poor judgment. It's actually a survival mechanism. See, a big, impactful purchase gives you a super quick emotional reward. It's like this tangible shot of adrenaline that just screams, hey, I'm at her too. And it temporarily fills that empty space where things like stability and self-worth are supposed to be. So here's the bottom line on this one. Buying big to feel small is basically about using your spending like a Band-Aid for an emotional hole. You're chasing a feeling of confidence by buying stuff, and you're letting impulse and emotion drive your wallet instead of, a real long-term plan. All right, now let's completely flip this idea on its head and check out the other side of the coin. This whole idea of buying small to feel big. And this is a totally different way of thinking, one that comes from a place of quiet confidence and, internal security. This quote just nails the whole vibe of this mindset. People who are wealthy, or even just people who have a wealthy mindset, they don't typically need their purchases to fill some emotional gap. They're buying from a place where they already know who they are. It's from an established identity, not from insecurity. Yeah, their choices aren't about trying to become someone else. They're just a reflection of who they already are. And we see this all over the place, right? The trend of smaller phones, brands that are super minimal, that whole quiet luxury thing that's going on. The point is, the purchase isn't the thing making the statement. The person already is. So this approach, it's really anchored, it's calm, it's intentional. It's all about understanding that real lasting power doesn't come from these huge, intense, flashy moments. Nope. It comes from consistency, from patience, and from having an identity that just doesn't need other people to sign off on it. And you know what? This pattern goes way beyond just shopping. The big mindset is always chasing those big, flashy moments. The huge party, the lottery ticket kind of risk, because that intensity, that rush, it feels like you're making progress. But the small mindset, it does the opposite. It invests in small, consistent things. Daily habits, steady investments, those little disciplined sacrifices. Because it knows that all those small, quiet actions eventually compound into absolutely massive results over time. And this brings us to what might be the most important pivot in this whole explainer. Because what we're about to realize is that the purchases themselves, they aren't the cause of wealth or poverty. They're actually just the symptom. And this is the real core of it all. It turns out buying big doesn't actually make you poor, and buying small doesn't magically make you rich. It's the underlying mindset, the why behind the choice, that truly shapes your financial destiny. One mindset is just chasing a feeling, and the other one, it's busy building a reality. I mean, it really all boils down to this. The buying big mindset, that's all about chasing confidence, letting your emotions be the boss of your wallet, and desperately trying to cover up that nagging feeling of not enough. But on the other side, you've got the buying small approach, which is all about building confidence from the inside out. It's patient, it's intentional, and it comes from a place that's already anchored and calm. Okay, so knowing all of this, how do we actually turn this insight into action? Well, it all starts by taking a good, hard look at our own habits and asking ourselves some really direct questions before we make our next purchase. Just take a second and honestly ask yourself this. When you look back at your recent spending, which one of these two psychological patterns do you see more of? And hey, there's no judgment here at all. This is just about being aware. And let's go even a little deeper. Do you ever feel the need to impress, to show off, to prove something? Or maybe just to escape a feeling, even for a minute? Because those are the emotions that are really driving that whole buying big mindset. And let's be super clear about something. The goal here isn't to stop buying things you love or to force yourself to become some kind of extreme minimalist. Not at all. The real goal is to get to a place where you just don't need your purchases to validate you anymore. Because when you get to that place, trust me, everything starts to shift. Your money, your habits, your entire future. So the next time you're about to buy something, anything at all, I just want you to pause for a second and ask yourself this one simple question. Am I buying this to fill a feeling, or am I buying this to align with my future? The second you can honestly answer that question, you stop buying big just to feel small, and you start building a life where your confidence doesn't have a price tag. And that, right there, that's where everything changes.